Hello, welcome to the Dancing Oracle with me, Najia. I'm here today to help you see auras and learn all about them. This is something that I've been able to see my whole life, and I didn't realize that other people didn't see them until I was about 13, 14 years old. I had just entered high school and I was around some new people and we were talking about, shadows and other things we see. And I said, well, what about the colors? What about the colors? What do you think about the colors around people? And I was with a group of people that I really didn't know very well. I was already my whole life socially awkward and couldn't speak. It's a miracle. I have strived to public speak and be a teacher, and now on YouTube, um, I'm, I've grown quite a bit. But then I was so shy, and I kind of didn't want to talk about it anymore, of course, because I felt like they're going to make fun of me. And then after the end of the afternoon, about an hour later, one of the girls who I was more friendly with, who I sort of knew a little more, the one that I ended up getting invited out with, she pulled me aside and she said, "You're talking about auras." She said, "You look it up in the library." And I said, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, they can even take photographs of auras. There's special machines that can actually do that." And I felt so validated because, first off, she was very kind, you know, she was very kind to me. And then she's saying, "You're not imagining this, you're not weird because you see this. It's just something that a lot of people don't see and they're not aware of, basically." So I went to the library and there was a book. They actually had a book in my Catholic high school all about auras. And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I see. They had pictures of, illustrations of what it would look like. And they also had photographs um, with the Carillion photography showing people's auras. And I was just so happy about this because number one, I have a lot of gifts that I came in with from another dimension that I still remember a little bit of. I have almost all the clairs, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, and so on. And I see the chakras spinning and things like that, the movement of them, and when people are active, and I know how to balance energy, all this stuff. But it's not something that you can really talk about in public around social circles for a lot of people, unless you're lucky enough to find your tribe of people interested in that. So I am happy to share with you today uh, the different times in my life of seeing auras and how to best see them. And also, I'll show you a photograph, a Carillion photography photograph that I went to a New Age expo and they brought in this huge photo booth with Carillion photography. And I said, "Yeah, I can see auras, but you know what? I wouldn't mind having a photograph. I don't have to go to a special place and I can just get it done right now." So I said, even though it was a little pricey, because it's at the expo and they had to lug basically a room into this other place. I don't know how they got this. They must have had it on the back of a flatbed or some truck. I don't know. And they brought it here. And by the way, if you're, you could Google Carillion photography, aura photography, but this is from Inner Light Aura, INNERLIGHTAURA.com. And basically, they travel for expos and even parties if you're really wealthy. You could bring them in for your friends to have a spectacular party people would love. But you can see all the different colors and you see the main outline. That's also different layers. I'll actually see some different things because I don't, um, I mostly do it against a white or pale gray background. And it's just like when you see light in the daytime is different than when you see light in the dark, or how the stars are not visible in the daytime but they're visible at night, so there's a different quality. Well, the first thing I want to tell you is I don't just see auras around people, although that's what struck me first, because I'm actively talking to people and I would see their auras change and I would wonder what the colors meant, but I kept it all to myself until then. But then I started, I see it around birds and animals and rocks, even airplanes. That's kind of shocking to me that I could see the aura around the airplane because everything, we don't realize it, but everything, person, animal, and thing is imbued with spirit, and everything is truly alive, even a rock. We just don't realize rocks are alive. So a lot of these crystals, let me see, I have some crystals here. I just keep them here. Hold on, let's see, where's my pretty amethyst? There it is. So a lot of us think that these are inert, that these are not alive. They are alive. They're called the mineral kingdom. We're part of the animal kingdom as humans. We have the plant kingdom and we have the mineral kingdom, and all of these have spirit and they all have a life cycle. Crystals have a really long life cycle, and if you look up crystals, you will see that they can change over millions of years from one type of crystal to another because they're still alive. And all you have to do is have awareness. So the first step that I want to bring to you is number one, be aware. Just be aware. Be aware that there's other possibilities out there. And once you're aware, you take the blinders off, right? So if you're just focused on what you're taught, of what you're, trained to see, just seeing that person in front of you and focusing on your conversation or something, or you just think that everything in this room is dead, it doesn't mean anything, it's not alive. You're taught that. So your brain just kind of filters things out of what is actually there. The other thing that makes a difference is how our eyes and our brain function. Now, there are all different kind of lights and things that we do not see because of the way we're wired to see, because we're human. So if you have a cat or a dog, they see completely, they're in the same room as you. Everything looks completely different to them than it does to you. If you are with seeing an insect, right? Now, the way an insect actually sees is completely different than the way humans see, and the way cats and dogs see, and the way birds see. Now, you know that a bird, if you've ever been on the beach with seagulls, they've got like laser beam eyes. They can be way up in the air and they'll spot like one little tiny piece of popcorn on the beach. And they're swooping right down and getting it right there. They got that target instinct. They can see, they got those laser beam eyes. And even the way our ears work, like dogs have stereoscopic sound. That's why they can hear so well. They hear things we don't hear. And there are so many things that exist, but the way we're wired, we don't see it. There's all kinds of microwaves, there's all kinds of different radio waves in the air, but we don't see them because the way we're wired. And but they're there. They're there. And we're using electricity. It's there, but we don't see it. I can see it actually around people in certain ways, like with the little tiny dots of movement. Um, and an acupuncturist, if they're really good, they can see the electricity by looking at someone and then just also sensing and feeling things. But there's just that amount of what we're focused on, like a horse on the racetrack, and they only see what's ahead of them and they don't see the whole big outdoor picture. So I'm just trying to get you, if you're interested in this, to open your awareness, take the blinders off, widen your scope. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And you may wonder, well, what do the colors mean? Because you'll see different colors. Now, I never really got into, I just enjoyed the light show, right? I would see like spectacular light shows around someone playing music versus someone bored in class. You see a different kind of lights around them, like in a classroom, because my auras, I would get bored in class and I would just go and look at auras of the people and the teacher because I'm zoning out and I'm in that trancy state of mind, and I go into a different type of vision that I intuitively knew how to do. But I just thought I would read to you from Inner Light Aura what the colors mean, because and you'll have many colors around you. And they all have meaning. But I'll tell you, one time it did make a difference to me. And I worked on myself. I woke up one day and I had a huge blackish slate gray aura. And it was totally engulfing me. It was horrible. And I said, I have to work on my health. I have to really work on my health. I knew that was bad. I've never seen that before on me. And it was pretty thick. It was pretty dense. So I did do a lot of things to bring myself joy and to self-heal and nurture my spirit. So other than that, I personally don't use auras to see the colors. I have other psychic abilities that will target and give me more information, but I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing auras because it brings me into a state of mind that's very peaceful. It brings me into a centered place. It helps me to be receptive when I'm looking for auras. Like if I decide, oh, I'm just going to look at someone's aura just for fun, it will, when I get into that state where I'll teach you how to do it, it allows my other gifts to come through. It brings me into that more receptivity for the other clairs. But I know you're all curious. What do the colors mean? So let me get my glasses on. Yeah. So red, you can just imagine. What do you think red means? Courageous, leader, stable, manifester, fearless, practical, passionate, and powerful. I would see red a lot around a lot of musicians when they're playing. And magenta, oh my, for a while I would see a lot of magenta around me when I was young, when I was a teenager. Creative, strong-willed, unique, optimistic, eccentric. That was definitely me. Jovial, intelligent, but misunderstood. That was me as a teen and even in my early college years, right? Yellow is a color I see around a lot of people. And that means optimistic, strong-willed, joyful, playful, organized. Oh yeah, you see that I see yellow a lot when I was in school. Motivator, energetic, open-minded when people are working their intellect. Tan, that's a color I don't really see very often. But tan is focused, detail-oriented, analytical, down to earth, consistent, results driven. So that's like an earthy color. Violet is a color I would see a lot on a lot of people with the yellow and the violet together. Magical, visionary, manifester, inspiring, charming, and empathic. Pink is a beautiful color to see around people. And that means generous, sincere, loyal, unconditional love. It resonates with the heart chakra. Bubbly, compassionate, and caring. Orange, that's related to your sacral chakra. That's the visionary. They're confident, collaborative, ambitious, social, risk takers, and dynamic. That's a color I don't see often. I think they're the special ones. Green is abundant, dedicated, goal-oriented, nurturing, stable, self-healer, joyful. I would see like a darker green than here with the red, with a lot of musicians, like they're opposite colors, and the colors would dance around the musician, like they're working between those colors. It's so interesting I just like to watch musicians in different, especially when they're not on stage, when they're more in a organic background, where I can just really tune into something that's more intimate and watch them. But it's really interesting what you see. But I'll tell you that there's a color that they're not talking about it here, but a blend between yellow and green. Uh, it's not related to the heart chakra in the way a normal green is, like a slime green, slime yellow. That's like means that someone's lying and putting untruth out there. It's interesting that it's a slime green. But they don't have that in here. I'm not sure if they even have that in the books, but it is something to be aware of if you are a psychic and see that. Blue, that's a color I would see a lot in different types of blue. They're only talking about one type of blue here. It means communicative, expressive, inclusive, sensitive, multitasker, generous, deep feeler. And white, it means you're rare, special, spiritual, honest, divine force, uplifting. I actually see white around a lot of people, a lot of objects, a lot of trees, everything. I see white a lot. It's kind of one of the base colors um, that I'll see. And as far as the blue, if someone's really spiritual, I will see the blue that is in the gas flame. If you turn on the gas stove and that real intense blue, I think that means someone's tuned in spiritually. That's my take on it. Um, as I haven't gotten really into that because I use my other gifts more often. But I hate to say it, but I I kind of use seeing auras is more like not entertainment exactly. I mean, a little bit, but just more like, oh, um, I might feel a little bored and entertain myself by looking at auras. And I don't usually, unless I have a reason to look, and I'm like, wow, I'm getting a weird vibe from this person. I'm getting some visions, or I'm having some clear audience, or I'm feeling something. Then I'll go, wow, I'm curious. I'll go look at their aura and see what I see. Just that. By the way, before I tell you how to see auras, I want to teach you right now. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I've been doing this, as volunteer time and hoping to be like a lot of other YouTubers and actually get compensated for the time I put in and the expense of lighting and um, having all my tarot cards and all my candles and my all the things needed to do this channel. So one of the ways you can help me that's free is to subscribe. Subscriptions are free. And it helps me. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers. And if I get 1,000 subscribers, I'll make $1.84 this coming month on commercials. But hey, it's a start. And because I'll be a YouTube partner. Now, if you really want to help me out and you like my channel, you like all the content on there, you can become a member for $1.99 a month is angel membership. And then that's where you get your own special badges and emojis. And when you comment, I recognize you and remember your comments. So I'll write them down. Like if you have special requests for this channel, I'm here for my members. Like the content that I do is by viewer request, a lot of it. So it's not always things that I personally had thought of doing. It is viewer request. And then if you want private content, that is the goddess member with the price of a latte every month. I think it's $4.99. You can be a goddess member. It would mean a lot to me. Other free ways are hit the like button, have the notification bell, or share the video with a friend. All those help me grow my channel, and this type of information about how to see auras, how to feel good about yourself as an intuitive, how to grow and develop that, all of that information, as well as all my fun celebrity readings and nature walks and all the other in tune things, are there for you. And I would really appreciate your help. Okay, so let me have a drink before I teach you very simply how to see an aura. By the way, you can even see them through devices. You don't have to be right in person with somebody. You can see their aura on TV. It's quite interesting. It's really interesting. But anyway, uh, when you're seeing auras, you have to use your eyes in a different way. Now, the way we see is not just the eye itself, it's related to the brain. How we really see is with the brain, and the eyes are the lenses. But the real way we see is inside here. And when you become aware of that, you can shift your focus from inside the brain and not, you can work the lenses of your eyes, but you also really get inside the brain and you will go back in, go back in. So just become aware. Let's go take a deep breath because that's an important part. Let me just do this because then I'm going to have to point a little bit. Okay, so we're going to take a deep breath together. We're going to breathe all the way in through our nose. And you want to relax your forehead. You want to relax your crown chakra. You're just going to breathe in. Take that breath in, go all the way down to the belly. And now exhale, let it out all the way through the spine. And that's so relaxing. And let's do it again. We have to do it a few times, all right? You're going to feel your spine move and tingle. You're going to feel the relaxation. So again, we're going to breathe in through our nose. When you breathe in, you don't want to just focus on your lungs. You want to realize that that oxygen is traveling throughout your body via your blood supply. So when you breathe, you can take that breath everywhere. You can take it up into your head. Take it way down to your root chakra where you're sitting on it. So I want you to be aware of the whole body experience of getting into that space to have the sight to see auras. So again, let's take a deep breath in, relaxing the wisdom eye and the crown chakra especially. Breathe in. You'll feel your body rise up to expand to the celestial forces when you breathe in. You connect to the electricity, to the spirit above and around you. You literally feel yourself lift with your breath. Now you exhale, take it through the back of the spine, down the neck, through the back of your upper back, down to your lower back, to your tailbone. And feel yourself become grounded. All right, so we're working heaven and earth energy. Take a deep breath in. And out. Now, once you get that state of relaxation, you may have to do it a dozen times, but I'm not going to bore you. I'm just going to teach you. I'm not going to do it 12 times on YouTube, or 11 times would be the angel number. But while you're breathing, and it's a little difficult for me to do this while I'm talking to you on YouTube, but when you do it quietly yourself, you go and you breathe, you do your breathing, and you focus inside, like instead of focusing like, ooh, like that, right? Like normally we look and we're like, ooh, look at that, words, and our eyes are a certain way. But we can take the focus backward as we breathe in, like back here, behind the eyes. And actually, when I feel this shift in the way I see, it's back behind my eyes quite a bit. I think it's like halfway through my skull, and it's up a little higher. And you want to become aware of that space, okay? Become aware of that space behind your eyes, at least a couple inches, pointing to the middle above here in the brain. And you go into that space. You also might feel a tingling on the top of your head, crown chakra. So let's just breathe in. And you're going to feel your eyes shift. Your vision's going to shift. Okay, I'm starting to see them. Just keep doing it. The first thing you see when you see auras are the layers. The colors come out with more relaxation. You'll see different layers of thickness of energy. And you kind of like look beyond. Like you don't look like this, you look beyond and around the person, right? And you just breathe. And you just like, you have to be really relaxed. Okay. So let me tell you about what you'll see. Now, the best way to do this, if you're new to this, is to have a white background or a light gray or a very dark gray or a black background. Like you could even see auras in the dark. You can see light in the dark. You'll eventually train yourself to see light in the dark, all the little light crystals. It's amazing. It's great. Life is interesting. People are interesting. We have so much more gifts than we realize. So when you get into that state, you can then learn to shift your eyes. Okay, like I said, let's say I'm in a classroom, and this would happen a lot in classrooms when I get a little uninspired by the teaching or the building I'm in. I'm feeling trapped. So I kind of go into my I was a straight A student, so I'd have to shift from seeing auras and spacing out to focused. So I can test well. And I would always do well in school. I like learning. Um, but anyway, so you have to learn the shift between normalcy and expanding your vision, and bringing your sight backwards and bringing it out like that. So you have a way to change the way you see. Now, right now, I don't have a black and white background, but I have like a really, really dark green and a light blue-ish called haint blue. Haint blue wards off the evil spirits. You could look it up. Everyone likes the haint blue all over my porch, my house. And my friend, my uncle, my friends, my uncle even in Georgia, after he saw that color, he's like, I'm looking that up. And I taught him all about it. It protects you spiritually. And he went and painted his porch paint blue as well. He loves sitting on my porch when he comes to visit. All right, so anyway, I got haint blue over here, and I got this really intense, earthy, pigmented green, right? But no matter what, I'll see like the first thing most people will see when you see auras, you'll see this inch long, usually about an inch invisible layer. Like you'll see it's very transparent. And usually that one doesn't have a color. Even when the colors start coming in, there usually seems to be, and most times, you'll see like that little bit of an inch, maybe even a half inch. I don't know if you can see it around me. Those who are tuning in, can you see that clearness around my, and then you get the colors start, let's just say before we tune in, you'll get that clearness, transparency, and then you get this cloudy, let's say we haven't gotten all the colors together yet, but you will see a cloud around the person's body or the object, stone or tree. You can also practice in nature. and it's very, very healing to do so. So you'll see that big thick cloud. It's, a band. You'll start seeing a band about a few inches wide around. And then when you see that band, you start to see layers within that band. And you realize there's layers of different colors. So against the green, I'm seeing like a thin magenta. And then I see some magenta here. I'm in a magenta mood today. That's actually good. Let's see, and then I got some blue. Of course, I got some white. I often see that. And then you'll start seeing like the little balls swimming around. And they're literally swimming around. They're almost like a lava lamp. If you've seen a lava lamp, a lot of times when you're looking at auras, because Google, I know the young ones, you don't know what I'm talking about. But in the 1970s, they were big and they were people, everybody had a lava lamp in their living room or their bedroom. Everyone had them. But the auras move a lot like the colors in a lava lamp. And it's like an oil water lamp. It's really cool. I think it's oil water. They called it lava because it moves like lava. It's kind of cool. So you start to see the little balls and shapes change and move. And the more relaxed you are, the more of the color intensities you can see. If you're not relaxed, it's really hard to see them. If you're in pain, it's really hard to see them. I like seeing auras sometimes just to get myself in a relaxed state because I tend to live in high anxiety. At times I get such a worrier. So just bringing myself to that focus is very healing. And I love the feeling that I get on my head, the tingling. See that? I'm just going to go do it again. When I breathe and I widen my focus, I get this tingling feeling on my head, and I kind of feel like it's a little fairy dust from the celestial forces. Or at least I like to think that. I feel that tingling and it feels really good. So let me know in the comments if you started to see anything. Remember, the colors don't come right away, at least for most people. You'll start to just see the differences in the thickness, in the light around people. You'll start to see transparent, thicker, cloudy, and you start to see like that whole layers of halos, like layers in a rainbow kind of thing. And then you start to see the swimming balls, like a lava lamp and globs, little globs moving around in front of people. You can see them in front. That's harder to see in front because there's so much distraction, but you will at times, and of course here. And the auras can go out really far. If somebody's working their energy, okay, I would also look at my aura when I'm a dance teacher, and I used to be an entertainer and dance at weddings and corporate events pretty much all the time. And I would work on expanding my aura because I had to. I'm a little tiny 5'2" woman, and I have to look big and powerful on stage. So I would work on it, and I would work on extending my aura far out through my fingertips into the crowd, and you could see it would reach people. So there's a practical purpose. And you can touch people's hearts with your aura. You could see it. You could see how that works. You can also, if you do the opposite, I never do the opposite, but I felt it from people. I felt the daggers. You ever go around certain people and you're like, damn, they're 10 feet away from me, but I'm feeling those daggers come out of their eyes. It's just like, I'm out of here. Let me get out of Dodge, man. Who needs this, right? So or you've walked into a room and the energy feels thick and dirty, and you're like, oh, it looks pretty here, but it just doesn't feel good. And if you were able to turn on your sight to see the auras, you would see all that um, gunk in their auras. So it's kind of interesting to play with it, especially if you're at a party, you know? That's an interesting thing to do. If you just kind of feel like sitting in the background, having a little something to eat, and just watch people's auras and tune in. If you're not feeling too social, you just want to kind of watch the socialness of the event. It's kind of fun. But I want to tell you that at different times in my life, my aura, my aura flows in and out. So, of course, when I was young, bright, vivid color. And it would happen when I was in that state. So it would kind of come on and off according to if I fell into that state of vision. So, and certain conditions were, um, more conducive to seeing an aura, like not having distractions in the background, makes it a lot easier. And I just equated it like seeing shadows. I thought, well, everyone sees auras, like we were talking about the shadows, that we see behind us. And I thought, wow, and I brought that up among the kids I was hanging out with, and they thought I was kind of nuts, except for the one. And, you could see shadows better under certain conditions. And of course, if the light isn't there to make a shadow, you're not going to see the shadow, right? So it's kind of, you have to have the right conditions to see aura, but within inside yourself, I lost my ability to see vivid auras. I hurt my back really badly in my late 20s. And I mean, really badly. I was in severe pain and I could barely walk. And it was like somebody cut the cord. And I was just like, really difficult for me to see auras. And that went on for decades. And then it started to come back, and now it's not as bright as it was when I was very young, but it's coming back because I'm using my psychic gifts more. I'm doing psychic readings for a living, and my belly dance is very some of my students like all the chakra stuff I do, working with energy along with the dance teaching. So I'm allowed to tune in with my students more because they're really looking for that. So I'm more operating from that position on a daily basis. Oh, sorry, the cat scared me. She's acting up in the background. And so when I was in pain and felt cut off and everything felt lack of support, and I'm just trying to take that pain out of my mind and out of my body. Like I'm just trying to like focus on something pleasant. I thought I could focus on aura and that would help me feel like I can focus on something pleasant, but it really was like someone pulled the plug, and I had like the smallest connection, and it was hard for years because when you feel that plug pulled, that's your spiritual connection, and it feels abrasive. You know, I want to be able to draw from the well whenever I want. I want to connect to spirit. That's what makes me feel loved and alive and connected. And when I feel disconnected, I get depressed. It's horrible. I feel empty. I just want to eat a lot of carbohydrates and melty stuff or something like that because I can't connect to spirit. So, learning to see the auras is a really nice thing for yourself. So I really hope that you try these exercises out and that you can practice in different environments, and don't be hard on yourself if you can't see it, like if you're going through a lot of pain. if you have some injuries, if you've had some shock to your system, it is going to be harder to see it. And just be patient with yourself. Be very, very patient. And you can also develop other gifts that I will teach you about on this channel. I'm going to teach you how to, listen on the inner. It's really good for musicians. If only I knew how to notate music. I've had whole beautiful compositions channeled to me. And I wish I could, if I were a musician, I could, and songs. And I could barely write them down. I just like, oh, I have no way to notate this and record this, and then I could bring it out to the world. But I could bring things out with my artwork, but not musically. But clairaudience is really cool. I saved my mom's life twice with clairaudience, and I saved her from this mini stroke thing. And I get messages from the angels. It's really wonderful. So I'll teach you how to do all that. And please subscribe, like, share. You could send a super thanks or buy a latte or get a membership if you want to participate monetarily. But everything else is free. And I thank you for your time and your interest in auras. Thank you. And come back to the Dancing Oracle with Najia. See you again. Bye.